I'm David Boreanaz with the CASA SEAL team, and we have an important message for returning vets.
We want you to know if you're struggling to cope, there's help. It's just a phone call away.
The Veterans Crisis Line is staffed with experienced professionals who know your struggles.
We know there's no greater sacrifice than service to our country.
Your service is important. Your life is important.
For vets and their families, the Veterans Crisis Line is here to help. 24 hours a day. Please call.
Hello and welcome again to Oscar Mike Radio. My name is Travis, Marine Corps veteran. I'm your host. Oscar Mike Radio is part of the Hubazoo Network with Sinister One Productions. You can find out more on hubazoo.com. I want to thank my sponsors and supporters, Joyce Asack of Asack Real Estate, Mark Holmes, Army National Guard veteran of Reapers Detailing and Power Washing, and my supporters, Sipper Savage, Bottom Gun Coffee, and Caisson Shaving Company. And look, we're just on a roll here in 2023. Co-producer of the show, Keith Hayes, reached out to me and said, hey, I want you to talk to this guy, Cedric. He does a lot of stuff in digital creation, performing, multi-talented guy, veteran, and really supports, veterans advocacy around suicide. Cedric, welcome to Oscar Mike Radio.
Hey, thanks for having me, man. And thanks for those who recommended me to you. That's an honor as well. So they said when your gifts are made room for you and your talents are already in places, just waiting on you to catch up. And this is one of those cases.
Yeah, man, I'm looking on your Facebook and I thought I was on the move a lot sometimes. Man, you are everywhere doing any and everything. And we'll get to that in a minute because that's the really special sauce, good stuff. But, for people out there, I'm a military and veterans podcast. If you would please, kind of just tell us about your military service.
Well, I was in 11 Bravo Infantry, the heart of the Army. There's infantry, then there's the Army. Look. Oh. You know what I'm saying? But I joined in 2005 during the beginning of the surge. If you know the timeline, 2001, building went down, 2003, the invasion, 2005, that became the surge and stuff of that nature. That was when Bush was really doing, you hear the rumors, but that's when Bush was really about stop loss and extended deployments and different things of that nature. So I came in young and so it was just out of high school, tried to go to college, but when I say try, I more or less I didn't want to be broke. I've been to school broke enough. Let me go make some money real quick, legally, right? And then on top of that, I wanted to fund this dream that I'm living in now. So my parents, they grew up in the era where entrepreneurship means jobless, what I'm saying? So, the era.
Just another way of saying he's unemployed, folks. That's my son.
Yeah. So, that's the era where, either you had to go to college or get a punch in the clock, you know what I'm saying? And so they didn't say career down. So you got you a job. That's how they say career. So, but no, man, I went on ahead and it really catapulted me into different levels of manhood, right? So,
okay.
Most responsibilities, I didn't deal with the responsibilities of, how can I say, young adult life? When you hit your head, I did, but it was more in the Army way. But by time 21 hit, I was already responsible for lives. I was responsible for, I didn't have no kids till 30. So I'm talking about live, I'm talking about my battle buddies and my comrades. So at that young age, it's like, yo, that selfishness and all that is out the way. You lost that when you signed them papers. So now it's time to grow up.
Well, help me out here because a lot of people don't understand that statement you just made. You're 21 years old. There's 21-year-old guys getting out of school, trying to figure stuff out, and you're responsible for lives. Kind of go into what that means to someone who doesn't understand that or has never heard that before.
So, I'm saying your traditional 21-year-old, your mind frame is I want to party, I want to, I'm grown, I'm trying to see how strong my wings are. You know what I'm saying? But when you sign those rights away at 21, Now your wing, you don't have time to see how strong your wings are, because they're gonna make your wings strong by placing those responsibilities on you and making you aware while you're trying to flap and show your wings. You know what I'm saying? You got other people on here, you trying to, see how strong you are can cost this person his life. You don't want to be responsible for that guilt, or you got, it's really 1% of the United States is in the military.
Right, right.
So you got to think about it. The military is ran by kids. What I mean by that, the ground soldiers, the ground troops, old man playing chess, and you making the moves they making chess. You making the moves they're playing chess with. So at 21, you had to grasp that. So it's not like basketball where it's a superstar. It's really a team thing. And I didn't have really, that wasn't my problem. I come from a family of 6. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, that part wasn't an issue, but you just you got complete strangers that you don't know, and your mishap, you had to go to a stranger you don't know who's on your team and tell their mom or dad, we lost your son or whatever. So that responsibility became real, a lot realer. I didn't have to figure out housing. I didn't have to figure out benefits. I didn't have to figure out the normal things they put on men that you got to have to be established. Once I signed a paper, that part was done. I didn't have to worry about that. But the everyday, hey, if you get pulled over by police and go to jail, you short the team. They can stop you from doing this or doing that. You're taken away from this mission or that, because you're constantly training, preparing for to go domestic and foreign at any time. You know what I'm saying? So you had to really be self-disciplined. It taught me self-discipline early. I didn't have a chance to be reckless and then try to bounce back, because it was a gamble every time. And I never gamble on potential. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. And I think, that's a very interesting slice of the military experience, because look, I wasn't a SEAL or a recon Marine or a Ranger or Delta, but a lot of those people get all the props, if you will. Mm-hmm. And people forget that there's a whole group of people behind them. And you're right. I mean, I don't know about the Army, but the Marine Corps is primarily run by E3s. Yeah. Right. When you think about that, it's kind of like, whoa, how do we not mess up more than what we do, right? How does it work so good? And so you have all this responsibility. What was it like getting out from having that level of responsibility where that guy is depending on you to put him in a position to accomplish the mission, till you get out and you don't have that anymore?
It believe it or not, man, I think it was a curse more or less than a blessing at first, because when you get in that civilian world, your social security number don't mean anything anymore. You know what I'm saying? So it was a lot more. I had to learn how to lead myself. You know what I'm saying? And implement some of those structures to survive as a man, because like I said, I joined young, and I'm quite sure it's the same thing with the Marines. They get their representative from the bank. They get their representative from the the TSPs for use. That's the 401k, I guess, or the military, right? And then they pretty much they give you everything that you don't have to worry about. If you come in with a family, you got housing. You got money. You got this paid. Only bills you have are the bills you make. But the essential needs, I didn't have to worry about those things, right? Right. So getting out the military at 30 years old, I had to learn oh man, I got to be a different type of man now. Same moral compass, but I have to be a different type of man, as in, okay, you have to put your hands to the plow and to the clay and mold something and become something, be able to provide and make something happen. You're going to either sink or drown. And I really never had to do that before as a man, right? So in the military, pretty much everything is blueprinted for you to step in position to learn. They used to say this saying, don't be a hero, rely on your training, right? Right. When I got out in the civilian world, I didn't have civilian training. I didn't know how to open a bank account, because it was done for me one time and I ain't had to worry about it for a decade. Who's thinking about it? You know what I'm saying? All my bills was allotted out. It just, hey, send this money here, send that money there. By the time I get my check, my bills are paid because I don't see the money. You know what I'm saying? Then it was like, okay, how do I balance money? How do I do this? It ain't the 1st and 15th anymore. Can I even pay bills on time? What's this new thing with, paying your rent online, and how do you go look for an apartment? Because I never had to look for a house. Every duty station, I was set. How, you know what I mean? How do I properly buy a car?
Right, right.
They're gonna give me the best car because they're gonna get their best payment consistently coming back. So all those little things, little tangible things, I had to learn. I mean, I had man skills. My stepdad was just, and I call him my pops as well, but electrician, building stuff, building this, building that, doing this, doing that. I had those skills, but it was like, what about life skills? I was lacking life skills, and I had to really find myself. For the first time in my life, I didn't know who I was or what I was.
Because somebody else was telling you this is
exactly
who you are. Right,
even
right.
when I got up in rank, right? You know what I'm saying? So it was like when you become part of the NCO Corps, you got more responsibility, but it's responsibilities that have been there since the Army's birthday. The only thing changed was the face. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
So
I'm talking with Cedric Bellamy right now, digital creator, Army veteran, and you're going through this change. And the thing that I'm hearing as we talk is you're really explaining to a lot of people what goes on, and it kind of reminds me of my transition where you're right. I get out and I don't have a lot of the things the people I went to high school with. They already have a 401k. They already have their a starter home, all that stuff, and you're starting with nothing. It had to be challenging.
Oh man, it was crazy, man. And just the icing on the cake. I was going through a divorce, right? Not in the military where I could bounce back and whatever. I was going through a divorce, exiting the military. I had a premature child. So we're talking Medicare. We're talking not Medicare. We're talking like medical bills, insurance, living in the hospital. We did with that, right? While the military sent me to a city, San Antonio, where I am now, with no family, no friends. It was just the person I was divorcing and my daughter. So you see what I'm saying? So on top of that, and you still got, it ain't no excuses or no room like why she don't have. I mean, for my daughter, why she don't have. We talking about this particular time period. You know what I'm saying? And so that transition was happening to me, and then I realized how financially ignorant I was. I was overseas. I bought a brand new car in Germany. To ship the car over here, I had to pay $18,000 in taxes on a car. I'm like, why nobody ever taught me that? I would just left that mug there and got me an American. You see what I'm saying? So these
right.
things that I didn't know, because I didn't have to worry about financial literacy. I didn't have to worry about economic literacy. I know, like, okay, bills are paid. This is my money to spend. Once I spend it, I can't touch nothing else. Whatever left in there, got to roll over to whatever. But so that little mind frame, but it was deeper than that. It's a simple concept, right? But also I had structure, money structure, this structure, that structure. I didn't have to, okay, my needs versus my wants, or worry about this or worry about that. But when I got out, it was damn near a culture shock. For me, I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Okay, this money gotta last until I get a job, and then this gotta pay for this and this, and that savings cushion depletes fast.
Yeah. So you're going through all this at 30 with, I've had my challenges on the ex-wife front, so I can't imagine what it's like going through it with a premature daughter and all that. How did you start breaking into being this digital content creator? We'll start with that first. How did that get going? Were you always creative growing up?
Yes, man. I've been probably doing music and writing poetry since I was like 6. But I didn't have the money. That was the whole reason for. I'm not gonna sit and cat with everybody. I ain't get patriotic until after my first war, and I see how decorated my chest looked. It was like, you know what? I'm somebody, you know what I'm saying? So then it really, I mean, I always took the responsibility, like, I don't want no blood on my hands of somebody losing their life. You know what I'm saying? The wars was not like the movies. So, Rambo, and you gotta load the 50 cal or the barrel mill, change the barrel, and so none of that stuff that
right. They never show the barrel changes or humping the tripod to the next thing, right? Ever.
The 40 cal off the shoulder look cool, but you gotta change the belt. Listen, it's a lot there's a lot that go into it. I was like, oh, this is real. And it's heavy. So you know what I'm saying? So all that was going on, it's being a top dog and being elite in the arena to going out to being an everyday man is like, whoa. So when I guess that hunt, that thrill, and it started developing different things, like now I'm depressed because I feel like I'm a nobody. Now I'm depressed because I don't know how to open a bank account. Now I'm like, okay, only thing is motivating is I may fail at everything else, but I would not fail as a father. So going without, doing shows, hosting shows, at the end of the night, going home to your truck, sleeping in your truck and stuff of that nature, man. It just doing those things, it caught up with me when I got a job for a retired E8. Shouts out to Rhino Trade for giving me this job and set me up on a path to get my footing. They were like, I noticed you at work, first at work, last to leave or whatever. I get it, the military, but he not knowing, like I was homeless at the time, right? And so eventually I had to do the paperwork, and he came to me like, yo, you never put your address on here. So I had to, look this man in the face and be like, I don't have nowhere. I'm homeless. And so it blew him away. And he was like, and then of course, being, top, you know what I'm saying?
An EA, well, you got master sergeant after you got a master sergeant after you now.
Yeah. So he like, excuse me? Yeah, so he gave me that.
Oh boy.
Yeah, he was like, why you didn't say nothing? Well, you don't go into a job and be like, hey, I don't got no place to work.
Right.
Boom, boom, no place to live, boom, boom, boom. You hired me on the strength that I'm a fresh out of the Army veteran. You're a veteran, you know what I'm saying? So you hired me, you see my work ethic, but that once again, that paperwork came around, time for the address, because they got to do their numbers, et cetera, et cetera. It was a humbling and embarrassing moment, right? And so that's when I understood the essence of veteran camaraderie at its fullest, of the older guys who's established, been out, they take care of the young guys trying to get their footing. So he ended up getting me an apartment, still have my job, stuff of that nature. And then, at the time, I think I was getting like $500 a week. He was an independent logistic trader or whatnot. And so even within, it was like something was still missing. My daughter was taking care of stuff of that nature. And then I eventually end up leaving. I'm like, I have to go for what I know. This is what I didn't work my whole life for. I spent a decade married as a young man, and I spent a decade married to the Army. So I spent my life living for two different entities and never knew myself. You know what I'm saying? Then when I got out, they both left me empty. You know what I'm saying? And not knowing who I was, not knowing where I'm gonna go, not knowing really anything. All I knew is at that time was Melanie had to survive. Melanie needed taken care of. We got to make peace because we got right here, right now. And we're the best of friends right now. You know what I mean? Whatnot. It was hard, but but then, like I said, they prepared me for war, but they didn't prepare me for the human side of war. All those things later came back and plagued me. They prepared me for an exit, but they didn't prepare me for the prosperity of an exit. You know what I'm saying? So those different things I had to learn on my own. And then key people came into my life and kind of other veterans came into my life and walked me to, where I needed to be and get things right. Because for like 2.5 years, it took forever for Uncle Sam to be like, hey, all right, I'm going to pay you for deploying so many times. I guess you deserve it. Here you go. You know what I'm saying? It's a starter kit.
So, I'm sitting here listening to you, you touch on a lot of themes that veterans try to articulate, and you just did it right there in a way that I don't even know if I could. Is that what kind of got you thinking, you know what, I can do this poetry and, you know, this writing and performing, or was it something else?
My first portrait, my first hosting show. So my first hosting show was by accident. Everything happened by accident. I've always been like, you know what I'm saying, boom, 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 or whatever, right, on stage. And like in person, I'm a boring person. I work, I go home and deal with my daughter, but on stage, I'm electrifying, you know what I mean? So I already knew that. I just happened to go get a chance out here in San Antonio at one event. One of the hosts saw how big the crowd was, and she was like, I can't do that. And the person that put the show together saw me out there introducing my team. I'm interacting with the crowd. She's like, look, if you host the rest of this show, we'll pay you. And I was like, bet. So, you know, I did my thing or whatever, and that was the start. And then in 2016, because I got here in 2016, while still trying to get my footing, I was like, well, let me try to make my name in the music out here, in the music scene and different things of that nature, just doing things to express myself. That was my outlet to dealing with things, because at that time, I didn't turn to a therapist. I didn't, you know, do all this stuff that I needed. So music it has always been my outlet. Even when I was deployed, I had a makeshift studio. So after a long mission or stuff go bad, me and a couple of battle buddies, we go in my shoes and, you know, set the computer laptop up and we go to recording and stuff for that nature. But I wanted to be bigger than that, but it was just how I'm gonna get there. Not when, it's just how I'm gonna get there. What's the first step? You know, and it's like, well, one thing about a dream, you have to set the reality in order to trace the dream. So once I took care of the reality of the needs, it was easier to go hustle for the dream.
So you get to set up, you know, living, you know, taking care of your daughter, taking care of your business, you know, your personal business. And then it was about doing this. Now, just for us all over again, because this is all new to me, what is it? Maybe I should have led with that. I don't know. But what is it that you actually do when you're, you know, on stage? What are you trying? What is Cedric now?
Well, what I do on stage now, my spoken word is very blunt and straightforward. You know, is very straightforward, and I deal with a lot of uncomfortable topics. You know, I talk about mental illness. I talk about the tabooness in the Black community. I talk about certain things that it's uncomfortable. You know, it's cool when when you see the stereotypical, but it's very intimidating when you see an intellectual with melanin in their skin and they're successful and not in debt. It kind of bothers society in a certain way. Sometimes it bothers your own kind, you know, in a certain way. So I hit those things head on. And my whole point is it's okay to be you. And sometimes it's not cool to be you, but you got to be authentic to yourself at all times and not compromise that, because the first time you compromise your own authenticness, that's when you begin to start putting kinks in your armor. You know what I'm saying? So everything I have done, I get booked for church events, club events, bar events, everything. You know, what I do at Trade, I'm the CEO of a mass media company.
Okay.
So we have a recording studio. You see my awards on the
wall.
I
see it. I see it.
We got
nice.
The recording studio, TV network, radio station, and it's all about the independent artists knowing financial education, economic education. You know what I'm saying? So that's what the focus is. You controlling your own destiny and writing your own story. And that's what I try to focus on, because a lot of, like myself, I'm guilty of it. I was a great soldier, dope NCO, but I was scared to put those skill sets to make myself great. You know how many kids we didn't probably sent to college with our ideas? How many kids that we don't know, we didn't set their grandparents up forever with our ideas because we're scared to walk away from a job? And that idea could have made you a multimillionaire, could have made you break generational curses. And so that's the step that I decided to take. I'm like, I'm not getting nobody else rich anymore before I take care of my own, because if it's good enough for them, I know I can do it for myself.
So I'm a metalhead, Cedric. I'm a complete metalhead rock and roller. But I was scrolling through Instagram and I watched a couple of memes or reels, reels, and it was it Ice? No, it was Snoop Dogg and Ice Cube talking about the business,
Mm-hmm.
the music business. And I didn't realize, I thought, like Snoop did his thing and just had, armored trucks showing up with cash.
No.
And it's not that way. Like if you're not careful as an artist, you're going to bleed and sweat for the record companies, and they're going to give you as little as possible.
So out of a, let's just say a record company makes $1 billion off you a year, right?
Okay.
That's merchandise included, touring, advertising, sponsorship, endorsements, their advances, different things of the nature. You could pay a record company all their money back and they'll still profit off of you and keep you in debt. So if they make $1 billion off of you, you'll probably get 20 million off of that, if that. 10, 5. And they you see what I'm saying? So
Right.
And that's how it goes. And they'll believe, and you'll have to understand that things that we're not taught or hear about, stuff like audit. You have the right to go audit a record company and see if they owe you any money, to open their books and different things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of artists don't understand it until they get older or whatnot, and I mean, and even with that, like the NFL, you can audit them or whatnot, because the NFL, a lot of people don't know the NFL is a 501c3.
They're a nonprofit, right? Yeah.
A lot of people don't know the NFL is a 501c3. And how are they able to pay everybody that money? Because with a 501c3, you have to give out more money than you take. So that's why those deals, yeah, your skill set depends on how much you get paid, but the NFL has to give out more money than they bring in. So when they open those books, they should say it should be 50-49, 51-48. The number of output has to be more than the number of input. You see what I'm saying? So when you think about a record company and an artist, it's a middleman there. And a lot of times they'll tell you they paid $1 million for marketing. They just got relationship. They only paid probably like 10,000 for it and kept the rest of the money. But on paper, you got to pay 250,000 back when they didn't pocket 240,000.
So what was it like? You had the dream and you started putting action to get the dream going, to hustle for you because you really believed in yourself. What's it been like watching, the studio get built, sign artists, performing everywhere now, and realizing that you can take that NCO type leadership you developed in the Army and use it to help other artists now? What's that been like for you?
And it gave me that NCO feel because, at heart, NCOs are protectors.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, the soldiers start to go astray, you're going to tune them up. But when they're good, you know what I'm saying? You give them their props as well. So when you're able to walk through, we call it FTX, and we go through the drills, day drills, dry drills, live drills, day, nighttime, dry drills, then live drills, then unit drills, right? It's the same thing, but different. This I'm gonna go through it by myself. So the best thing been for me was researching, getting the proper tools. Now I'm applying the tools to the research and tweaking it a little bit. Once I didn't hit success multiple times, the first time I need to come on as a nobody that just love music with a dream, and they get their first trophy in their hands, they get their first paycheck, they like, whoa, and I ain't have to go to a dark room meeting, or I didn't have to do this. This is how this works. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not a secret, but the thing is, people are lazy. You got those goobers out there. What's the goober, that old military show back in the day?
Gomer Piles.
Gomer Piles. You have a couple of those out there. You just like, bro, listen, I'm not gonna do it for you. You know what I'm saying? The whole point is, I'm not here to babysit you. I'm here to protect you, teach you. So that way, when you get it, you go establish another kingdom, and then that kingdom establish another kingdom. Now we done built the franchise and the umbrella. You know what I mean? Because The rich stay rich. The wealthy stay wealthy by keeping the rich rich. You know what I mean? So if Lil Wayne signed to Drake, he know Drake may be more marketable than him, and Drake can pull in more money. Guess what? Lil Wayne go from being rich to go being wealthy. Akon. Now, Akon signed Lady Gaga. Once Akon signed Lady Gaga, when did he drop another album? He went and started working on projects because he understood in order to get wealthy, I got to make this young lady rich, and I got to keep her rich. I got to keep her in demand. So the more I keep her in demand and rich and stuff of that nature, the money goes up. You see what I'm saying? So you make that and some. So you want it, and once again, selfishness. Being selfishness is the fact that you got to think like a sky is wide open. At night, every star has its own space. It ain't no competition. It ain't no, it's big enough for all us to shine. You just got to put them in position so they can shine in their own arena, in their own space.
Well, a lot of veterans, you know, I'll ask about the Black community here in a second, but a lot of veterans miss that, Cedric. You know, they get in fights with each other. You know, that's my area. That's my thing I'm doing. I'm not going to, you know, help you out at all. I won't support you because, you know, I might, you know, lose something. And it really hampers what they try to do. And then they get frustrated and quit. And then, you know, that's one. Then two, you know, I do see what you're saying. A sports figure in your community gets more props than the entrepreneur hustler who's built it from ground up a lot of times, it seems like. And I don't know why that is.
Well, I mean, because we love to be entertained. As Americans love to be entertained. You won't go nowhere else in the world and see an athlete or entertainer with so much responsibility to carry politicians, to carry cures for diseases, to do, you know, things that are essential to everyday life. Nowhere in the world, you know, you won't see David Beckham over there talking about vote for this or this is good for your body, get these shots. We rely on entertainment. You know, it's on an entertainment platform, right? And I'm not knocking because we choose our career, but in certain things, we rather be entertained than educated. Truth of the matter is we rather be entertained than educated. You know what I mean? So when it comes to those different things, it's easy to awe the crowd because what brings in money? Entertainment. Entertainment is bringing money no matter how much you give free education or these different, would we like free education in America? Yes, but however, entertainment just bring in the money and you listen to a person with power, position, and influence. Most entertainers got more power, position, and influence than the president. Because if it was not the case, they wouldn't rely on them. And I'm not knocking anybody, but just to name a few, like Cardi B, they know she got influence on females and different things of that nature, and you know they're gonna use that star power to get their point across. You know what I'm saying? So even with myself, when they showed the infantry commercials, right? They didn't show the infantry. They showed they use special forces. That's the star power in the military. The cool guns, they beards and stuff. Now when you get in there, you mad because you gotta have a clean face. Like, what you mean I gotta shave? And you know what I'm saying? So you just the star power, we like entertainment. It's violence, but they consider it entertainment. So that's just how it goes. And for veterans not being successful with communing with each other, because a lot of veterans, I say a lot of older veterans who've been out, you gotta understand they had that power position for years. Yeah. And that power position don't translate over in the civilian world like that. You know what I'm saying? And so when you get two E8s from different arenas come in and working, they're gonna be, well, my ORB or ERB or whatever situation may be, I had these many, then this. I'm decorated like a Christmas tree. Probably got a little more knowledge, and you know, so you know that's the clash of the Titans. Where somebody young like me, you know, come in, is like, I don't care about none of that. Look, how can we get this money? You stay in your lane, I'm gonna stay in my lane. You're subject matter expert here. I'm proficient here. You efficient here. How can we mesh this to make this thing move? They kind of forget that structure, you know what I'm saying? or whatnot. They live their last 5 years flipping the corn at the Super Bowl when they ain't out there in the trenches, and they forgot about, you know, when you get out in that civilian world,
You got a lot of like real world information, Cedric, that they're not teaching in college. This is like I'm getting a master class from a professor who's actually done it instead of going to business school and learning theory. What was the learning experience like for you?
The learning experience for me was you hear about a lot of it, you know, the military scares you, like a lot of people rejoin because they know they can't swim in that ocean when they get out, you know. But those different people, like I said, I came in the military with, I need to fund this studio. I need to be able to fund this. So that was always been my mentality, right? And so I'm gonna do my time until, you know, I'm ready to be like, okay, I got enough to step out there. So with college, one thing I remember this master story, they got the funniest phrases or analogy. They like, he was like, why buy a house if it ain't making money for you? It's a bill. It's like, oh, because you know, those are the things that people strive for. And there was a black guy that telling me that he like, I got a house for my family and stuff, but guess what? My name got an EIN. You know what an EIN and Social Security number got the same? They both 9 digits. Guess what an EIN is? It's a business. So take your government name, get you an EIN for it, and when you get your house, guess what it is at the end of the year? I was like, whoa, this is me young. So I'm like, oh. So listen to all these things. I took it. And I'm like, I know the difference between credit line and a line of credit. Besides switching the words, I know the difference now. So these are things that college don't teach you. College grooms, and me personally, I'm in college now. You know why I'm in college now? Because the government is paying for it. You think I'm gonna go to college out of my pocket? No, no shape, form, or fashion. I'm not going into debt for you to teach me how to build somebody else's corporation. I don't need that skill set. I need to know what I'm able to do, what I can't do. And anything that I want to jump in for is a new arena, I'm gonna go to school for that because they're gonna add on to what I already got. I got a media company. Guess what I don't have? I don't have a cinema production company. So guess what I'm gonna go to school for? Film. It has to make sense to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna put myself in a position where I'm not gonna be in debt about it. And once I get done with it, I'm gonna write it off and get my money back. You know what I mean? So that's what colleges don't teach that. It's like the cure to a problem is not where the money is. The money is in the problem.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Solution.
And so that's where people don't understand, like, real world experience. That's why when you get out the military, you can take a college man's job immediately. If you just got out of school from being a phlebotomist, guess who's gonna take your job? There's 68 whiskey who was doing phlebotomy for the last 15 years, doing war, doing civilian time, garrison time, peacetime. He got multiple facets of drawing blood. He can do it in the dark. He can do it with his IR or whatever. He most likely gonna take your job because they don't gotta spend more money on training. But you see what I'm saying? So these are the things that colleges don't tell you. You know, they try to downplay stuff like Job Corps. You go to Job Corps, become an electrician, you're already at 6 figures, debt free. You see what I'm saying? So these are the things they didn't tell you. Entrepreneurship is rough. It's not for the faint of heart. It's not for the faint of heart, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you learn so much when life is your direct teacher, when you apply and study for yourself. Because when you invest and gamble on yourself, even when you lose, you learn lessons because it comes right back to you.
Right.
You can't be mad somebody ran off with your money. Now you just took a left instead of a right. Go back and do it again and take the right. You know what I'm saying? So these are the life lessons that don't come by teaching. And if they do, it's like a manual car. You can get the instructions, but until you get behind that wheel and actually apply it, you ain't gonna know the sweet spots, the pedal gears and boom, boom, boom. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I tell you, like, for veterans, listen, take care of yourself when you get out. Ask the right questions. Like, hey, when I get out, I know it sounds good for the resume, but what's the keywords I need to look? How do I do keywords? So when I go to USA Job or Indeed, I trigger the Google system. What if I want to work for the DOD, get a GS job or WG job? What is it? Well, in order to get those jobs to even get looked at, you need a percentage. I don't care if it's 10% or 100%. If you don't got a percentage and somebody got 10%, they're gonna get that GS job before you. We're not taught that. We learned that when it's the VA slap us in the face and be like, oh, Jimmy y'all got the same skill set, but I got a college degree. Well, he got a disability grade. I'm sorry. That's not taught. You can have more degrees than a thermometer, but if I got 10% and you don't, I'm gonna get that job. So those things are not taught. You see what I'm saying? So what that leads to is like, now it's like, man, I'm not good enough to even get a job in the MOS I've been doing for years because we're not taught. We're not taught how important that percentage is. I know everybody wants, I want 100% off top. But look, if you're one of those guys that like, I need a job, I got a family, make sure you exit the military, whatever branch you in, with some kind of percentage. So that part, you're already over the hump. When you get your DOD jobs and applications and resumes going, that already puts you in a 50 percentile of possibly getting that job. Right. We're not taught that. You know, first time owners, there's so many benefits out there that we're just not taught, that other people are already on game for when they get there, and it's just ridiculous. And I learned this the hard way.
Speaking of jobs, do your parents say you have a job now, or is it still, you know?
Oh man, especially my dad. Oh, my son's a celebrity. You seen him on the news. You seen him in the newspaper. You see them records he done sold. You didn't. So look, you know what I'm saying? He's quiet, but he braggadocious about me. So that makes me feel great that, you know, and you know, like, they still want you to do a job, right? So growing up, like, they know I was in music, but we couldn't afford the big stuff. So they used to do stuff like buy me a karaoke machines and a bunch of tapes to record.
You do what you got to do.
Yeah, so that grooming, I will never forget that. That was the humble beginning, but now it's like, yeah, you know, my boy doing it. You know, that my boy out there, he's eating right now. So they super proud. And me being in the Army so young, I never wanted, bruh, you know this saying, you never want to be that Blue Falcon.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
No
so
way.
You never want to be, look at your face, you was like, oh, you'll never want to be a Blue Falcon.
Once you get that moniker, man, you're
done. Bro,
word travels fast.
Yes. So I never wanted to be a Blue Falcon. And so my mom is an apostle, so she's in, you know, I don't want to embarrass her regardless of what I may believe or how I may act. I mean, I keep her praying for me all the time because I be, you know, but however, I'm not embarrassing my mom, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I never want to embarrass my parents or whatever, but that came from being in the military and understand, you know, firsthand, like, look, what you do affects everybody. You know what I'm saying? They don't be like, you know, Sergeant Bellamy messed up. They be like, that first platoon ate up. It ain't no individual, you know what I'm saying? One bar fight and you by yourself, your platoon minding their business and back to work that your platoon ate up. Now the platoon on crazy details, stirring poop, doing the deployment crazy. Or stealing sandbags, you know. So that carry over to like, man, don't ever put yourself in a position to be a Blue Falcon, no shape, form of fashion. Make sure your moral compass is always balanced.
So how can people check your music and, you know, art out? How can they connect with you?
So you can connect with me on Facebook, Cedric Bellamy. I'm under my government name, and you will see in parentheses it says Legacy City. If you go on all digital platforms, you can type in Legacy City. It's spelled correctly, Legacy and space City, and you'll see my catalog. And you're welcome to listen to my music. If you're a Tupac fan, you're gonna love me. If you're not, you probably ain't gonna love me too much. You know what I'm saying? My music it definitely deals with a lot of it's not depressed music. Let me say it's not like these new rappers where everything is depressed and this. My music is like real talk of like, it says stuff like, how can you be on the top of your game and still feel like, you know, I'm dealing with demons, depressions, strongholds, feeling guilty for your blessings, and going from one life being the man to a next life trying to become a man. It deals with those real issues and different things. And, you know, a little stuff, I throw a little product of my environment in there, but my biggest my biggest knock is like, bro, you super talented, but you don't do club music. I don't live a club life. You know what I'm saying? I don't live a diamond Belzatini life. You know, I don't wear my investment. I'm sorry. You know,
I don't wear my investment, man. That is profound.
Yeah, I don't wear my investment, bro. Unless, you know, my clothing line, stuff like that. But like, I don't wear my investment. I unlock the door to it every morning. You know what I mean? So those different things. You can find me on Instagram, CEO_legacy_city. You can reach out to me there, man. I get millions. I know I probably exaggerating. I'll just say hundreds and thousands of people inboxing me every day just for advice. Now a lot more veterans, because I don't tell people I'm a veteran, man. You will never know unless you know. If you know, you know. But you know, I don't even go around. You do military discount, just pay the full price. United States don't owe me nothing. That's something I volunteer for. You know what I'm saying? I'm not one of those privileged veterans that feel like I deserve this, I deserve that. That's a choice that I made. You know what I mean? And nothing wrong with those who feel that way. But I mean,
I don't mind getting a discount, but I don't like having to go up. I'm like, I'm not going to sit there and demand a discount either. And, you know, that is one point I want to bring up. Our community, man, wants stuff for free, right? And I tried being gentle about this, but I'm like, dude.
You with the right person there. You don't got to be gentle with me, because I'm going to give it to you.
Well, I'm like, you know, Guy A has been busting his hump for 2 years to produce this product. You haven't even looked at it. And the first thing you ask him is, can I get it for free or a discount? If you respect the man and his effort, pay the full price.
Yeah.
Pay the full price. Why do our community want stuff? And I don't mind giving a veteran a fair shake, you know, and I'll tell businesses like, you know, hey, if you have a discount code system and you want to give me a discount code, you know, I'll try to throw some business your way. But it can't be for free. And people want it for free, especially veterans sometimes.
Well, the thing about it is, with our community, man, is we got a cancer in our community that we haven't learned how to cure yet, right? And that's acceptance, right? That's the first thing. You know, your radio station, your platform, the same way I am on Fox News, San Antonio Express, and I don't mean to throw these big names out there. My point is, I'm gonna treat you as a celebrity interviewer as well. I'm gonna give you the spark. I'm gonna give you me, all of me. Right. Because I feel, especially you're a veteran, your worth is more than theirs. Because I know the sacrifices that you have to give up. Marriages, anniversaries, birthdays, Christmas. I know what you had to go through to get where you were. To get a Shure mic that's $200 or $300. To get a Zoom L8 that starts off brand new at $500, $600, $700, $800. I know the sacrifices to get those things. Do you know what I'm saying? So right, of course, I'm gonna come here and be like, boom, I'm gonna do this interview. And if you got sponsors and advertisement, I'm not gonna ask for an advertising space. I'm gonna pay for it because you're an entrepreneur. I live the same life, right? But the difference is, right, we got melon. It's amazing how your product is not good until somebody with blonde hair and blue eyes stamp your radio station. Now you official. Now I'll pay your full price for your marketing. Gucci did it. He said, Oscar hot. They did it. They stamped it. when I've been doing numbers way before them. And that's the reason why my plaques ain't got no celebrities on there. My albums don't got no celebrity guests. It got all the people I came up with. I'm talking about military veterans I used to rap with, military producers, high school friends, everybody getting the same awards that these rappers are getting and doing the same numbers these rappers are getting, because you don't need their acceptance. You don't need their green light to know that you're great. You just need to sharpen the right weapons and the proper training to take over this arena. So with us, it's like if somebody on the outside culture don't value us, they don't value us. And a lot of people disrespect your no because they don't respect your yes. They take your yes for granted. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the things in our community that we deal with. And on the flip side, when some Black companies get the support, they got bad customer service. If they mess up on a Black man or a Black woman stuff, it's an attitude. But they'll go extra mile to go fix the white lady and white man mistake, or the Indian or Arab. They go extra to get there. With us, you want to battle and poke your chest out. I'm not in an alpha male competition with you. I just want you to treat me with good service, Black business. So you got to keep those double-edged swords in mind. You go, your business good, but your customer service trash. I just simply said you made a mistake on, this right here. Oh, boom, boom, boom. You got to learn how to balance that and do it right and be consistent across the board. And
I've seen that in the veteran community though, where I'm a veteran-owned business and they do business with people, and they'll short shrift the veteran and then get ticked when they get called on it. And I'm like, take that as a learning experience, improve your product and delivery and grow.
That's it. You know what I'm saying? And if you know anything about veterans, one thing a lot of us have in common, especially if you was ever in a leadership role, we inspect our SI. SI, for those who don't know, is sensitive items. We do inspections. We can see from a mile away if you're a quarter inch below the pocket or not. So what I'm saying is, if a veteran's coming to another veteran, automatically that veteran expects excellence from that veteran without saying. You know what I'm saying? Without saying, I expect excellence. So it's not like I'm dealing with a civilian who don't speak the same language I speak. So there's a little grace there. You know what I'm saying? Like, business is still business. But however, you especially retired at the top of the food chain. I'm talking enlisted now. In the military, sergeant majors at E9. I know Marines, they got different
Sergeant, E9 sergeant major. Yep.
Okay, the EA is where it's different at, right?
Yeah. First sergeant and master sergeant. Yep.
Yeah. So you got a business. You're at the top of the food chain. You know better.
Yeah.
Look, you didn't get to the food chain by being. Some people have. You know what I'm saying? But you didn't get up there by just being an idiot and half stepping. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
right.
It's like, so when you come to veteran business, veterans, that you can't do that. The rank, if that person got out as the E4, E9 or whatever, it don't matter. We're in a civilian world. We speak the same language, and you as an EA, E9, E7, E6, E5, or even corporal specialist should know the standards when we dealing with stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, and that goes the same thing when it comes to business, because of the fact that you expect excellence. When I mess up on an engineering track or somebody don't like my stuff, I ain't like, well, boom, boom, boom. Hey, let me go back and fix it. Let me try. Matter of fact, or you get 2 hours on me. Let me rectify this situation, whether you black, white, yellow, avatar, whatever. Let me fix this situation. You know what I'm saying? Because I believe in that customer service, bring it back. People give you a chance when you accountability.
People respond to accountability. People respond to accountability. Like, look, this is edited out, but like 10 minutes ago, I had this weird glitch, folks. I just took ownership of it and we moved on, and here we are still talking. But I was thinking that I was going to get like this big in-depth music thing, but man, you're just spouting life stuff that I'm like, I've been to college. My professor never talked about this kind of stuff. It was, I had to buy a book for like $200 I was going to use for 3 months of my life. He taught what was in the book and then took a test on it, and that was it. So I just like the value you're giving, people and veterans in particular, about how to be successful. And we'll close with this. I mean, you said you have a media company now and you're going with like a cinematography company next. What's success look like to you, Cedric?
Success looked like a bucket list with a bunch of things scratched off. Success look like living. It's amazing how most people are alive but afraid to live when they spell the same. It's crazy to me, right? And success is you going after your goals and your dreams. And some people just want to reach goals and don't even worry about money or fame. Me, my goals were never about being rich and being famous and being loved. I wanted to be impactful. I'm successfully impactful. Michael Jordan didn't want us, he didn't go in the NBA be like, I'm gonna have the best shoes in the game. He dominated his gift, and his gift made room for everything else. Be great at what you're great at, and then expand and always add to your arsenal. So that way you are your own complete package. To this day, like if I get no customers, if I get no clients, guess what? It's in my budget to keep my studio open. That's success, being self-sustained. And I rate my success on other people's success up under me as a leader. As a leader, I'm like, okay, that works. Am I gonna be, if everybody gonna be successful? No, because the blueprint bends, ship, shapes. What DOC said, it's a formula. Yeah. What happened with formulas? It always something getting taken out to make it better, or something getting added to it to make it better. So I look at my success by the greater impact I have on others around me. Awesome. Because, you know, King Arthur, baby, you eat at the table with the people. They don't get the scraps.
Last question, and you know, maybe, you know, if we have you back on, we'll dive into this one.
Yes, sir.
You're raising some daughters, right? You've got kids. When how old were they? Are they like young still? Or are they getting?
Yeah, so I got Melanie, Maya. Melanie and Maya. So Melanie, you know, those my micro preemie, and she's autistic level 2, but she's so intelligent, man, and she's so to herself. So all this, she don't care about none of it. She want her tablet and her TV, okay, and let her be. You know what I'm saying? Maya, on the other hand, Maya's like, yeah, I'm a celebrity. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they know me. I'm in the papers. You heard my name on the news. You see Daddy's studio. You see what's up. So, so you know what I'm saying? So they got different takes on it. It's hilarious to me. So I just be like, and I don't force nothing on them. I don't force entertainment on them. You want to sing? Maya's actually in ballet, so she like dancing. Melanie like, yo, wherever life takes me at this moment, life's taking me, you know what I'm saying? So they two different worlds, man.
So I'll phrase the last question this way.
Yeah.
How has fatherhood impacted what you're doing?
It has made a great impact. So it's one thing to be responsible for strangers that you probably gonna work with for 2 years or be in base training with for, you know, 16 weeks and going about life. But it ain't no days off for them. You know, they're the stage they can read. So your mishap, and these are internet babies now. So you know what I'm saying? I hate for her to try to show out on, well, more or less Maya pull up, you know, some online and I'm in some controversial stuff. I don't want to embarrass them. I want to be the greatest role model they ever seen without a cape. I want them to see all superheroes don't wear capes and spandex, you know, and I want to show them that what they put out, what they show us on TV is not us. You know what I'm saying? We're strong. Yeah, we're Black. We're intelligent. You don't have to bust it on TikTok. You can invent the next watch that speaks when it go TikTok. You know what I'm saying? I didn't try to do that at all. But show them that they can be great by being themselves and showing, you know, I watch how, you know, I don't talk about women. I don't do this. I don't do that. I make sure that they know they are loved in every aspect, they are appreciated in every aspect. So it make me like, yo, set the standard, set the SOP, standard of operation. When they get older, they like you can't have a wolf in sheep clothing, you know. And I give them that understanding as well, you know. Just because a wolf devours a sheep, don't make it evil. But a wolf dressed in sheep clothing is deceitful. Right. It's a difference between the two. You can't go by what the world says. You got to get an understanding, and understanding what's life, how the food chain works, how the world works, but at the same time, not lose yourself. It teaches them to keep a balanced moral compass, you know. So it had changed a lot. It made me learn a lot about myself. Patience. Boy.
I got sons. So.
Oh, okay. Now, I didn't want sons because I already knew. Look, I didn't want sons because I was aggressive, comeback aggressive all the time. God just knew that I needed something to soften me up a little bit. Like, look, bro.
Yeah, but girls are different too, man. Like one of my brothers, my nieces came up to me one time and said, you know, Uncle Travis, tell me how you feel. And I'm like, what do I say? We kind of just grunt at each other, like, you know, hey, you hungry? Yeah. Okay, I know he's hungry. But she wanted to have a very deep conversation. And the other one came out and said, you know, Uncle Travis, do you like this purse and belt? Cedric, I didn't know what to do. I'm like, you know, this was all foreign to me, man. So there's different experiences, but it's all good. It's all good.
And it helps because when I talk to them, now I'm able to articulate, like, instead of, you know, big 11 Bravo, I'm just like, hey, bro, I felt disrespected and that was very uncomfortable. Because it's with them, that hurt my feelings, or and then it's like, you got to humble. So he's like, okay. Because, you know, as a Black man growing up, hey, all that, I hate to say it, but, you know, we didn't know how to communicate. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, my feelings hurt, or boo-boo. So the girls kind of test that. So you mean to tell me you never had a hurt feeling? Excuse me? You never cried? What? You know, so it's like, oh, I can't be raw. It's like, you know, mom, baby girl, at one time this happened to me, and it's just like, wow, these born therapists.
It's the best thing ever. It's the best thing ever.
Yeah.
So look, you got a real perspective, ladies and gentlemen, today into the true veterans experience. Somebody goes in as that machine gunner or that M203 guy, and they get out, and some of the challenges of reinventing yourself and transitioning. And then more than anything else, what it takes to, just for anybody, veteran or civilian or active duty, to rebuild your life and have the kind of life you want. Cedric, I want to thank you for coming on Oscar Mike Radio and sharing, you know, in this way. I felt like I was, you know, in a graduate class, man. I wish you all the success in everything you do. Thank you again.
Thank you, man. Thank you for just not talking about music. I love talking about it. I love talking about, you know, the accolades, but it's like, it's a whole, when you're so
much behind it.
Huh?
There's so much behind it.
Man, it's like, you know something about being a ruler? They never teach you about the measurements in between. It is like, people don't like talking about those.
Awesome. So look, I'm going to have all the links to Cedric's stuff on the Oscar Mike Radio show post. Go check it out. And as we say in Oscar Mike Radio, Cedric, we are mission in flight. Thank you.
Hey.
Join us on National Wreaths Across America Day, December 16th, 2023. Each December on National Wreaths Across America Day, our mission to remember, honor, and teach is carried out by coordinating wreath-laying ceremonies at Arlington National Cemetery, as well as more than 3,700 additional locations in all 50 states, at sea and abroad. Join us by sponsoring a veteran's wreath at a cemetery near you, volunteering, or donating to a local sponsor group.
Thank you for listening and watching Oscar Mike Radio, where our active duty service members and veterans are in action and the mission is in flight. If you are a veteran or know a veteran who needs help, please dial 998 and press 1 for the Veterans Crisis Line.